Hello, welcome to day 3 of Munich High End, to our third and final roundup of the show. We've seen a lot of great things today. Got to say, it's been unbelievably busy today. It's been absolutely packed. Today's the first public day. It was busy on press days, the trade days anyway, but it's been absolutely packed. Really busy, and I suppose that slows down our throughput, but we've still seen a lot of great stuff. And let's kick off with you, Andy.
Again, I'm reporting on electronics and things digital, and I did report yesterday that the companies were offering products at a lower price than their flagships. So I must apologize ahead of time for some very high prices that represent this trend. Still, for most flesh and blood audiophiles, these represent real possibilities. The first product that I came across that I admired was from T+A, and their midline series is called their R series, and they are introducing something that they call a streamer receiver. A receiver is not a term that I'm used to hearing, but they mean it. It refers to broadcast radio as well as internet radio, and this is very definitely an all-in-one sort of product. You can put a disc into it and feed it any source that you choose to. It has a streaming client that is ready for Spotify Direct, for Tidal Direct, for native DSP up to 256, and even Apple AirPlay. So this is a lifestyle product, you might say, that is a cut above the Caruso that T+A makes, but it does cost $18,000 US. But for the serious audiophile that wants something that can coexist with life, this is a real possibility.
I'll second what Alan said about the show being so busy. It's absolutely packed, and it's great to see a show so vibrant again after so many years of not having a great show. So it's really good to be back in Munich. My first choice is the Dali Epicor 11. So Dali took their Epicon series, very popular, and after they'd been selling that for a number of years, you may recall they did the Epicor, which was a cost-no-object speaker. I think it's maybe $120,000. So they took some of the technology of that reference product and brought it down and merged it with the Epicon to create a product called the Epicor 11. And it's a 4.5-way, very tall, slim floor stander with the hybrid ribbon driver, so that Dali makes a ribbon driver with a dome tweeter for an extended high-frequency bandwidth that they've used for a long time, and that's the centerpiece of this speaker. It's got all new mid-range drivers and very innovative drivers with their soft core material, SMC, which is they've been using for about 10 years now. This is the new SMC2, so it's a newer version of it that is said to reduce the distortion by 6 dB, which is significant. So, and I heard it in a brief demo, and it sounded quite promising. It's $45,000 a pair when they start shipping in about 2 months.
My first is the new 232 amplifier from Burmester. This is, unfortunately, we don't know the price yet because it's still very, very new, but this is a 200 watt integrated amplifier, which includes streaming, it includes everything. It's a very potent, very Burmester amplifier. One of the great things about it, this is going to sound strange, is the front control. The main control knob has a special haptic system, which is it uses, I think it's some kind of magneto plastic. It's a magneto fluid. It's a fluid magneto system, so that as you adjust the dial, depending on what you're using the dial for, it changes doesn't just change its function, but it changes the actual feel of the knob. So if you're moving like as a volume control, it goes tick 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 tick. If you use it as a balance dial, it goes tick tick tick, and it'll stop. If you use it as a scroll wheel for your streaming. It changes. It's a very, very clever, very sophisticated thing. Now, it's getting very hard to hear because the line for the demonstration is enormous, but I think it really does live up to the reputation that Burmester have. So I think it's a good one.
The next product I'll mention is from Nagra, the Swiss company that's been around for more than 60 years. Their new DAC 2. The DAC 2 has been engineered with a discrete FET output stage, which is engineered to be analog-like in the sense that there is second harmonic distortion there to emulate a tube sound. Otherwise, it has the same digital engine as Nagra's flagship, and you can add an outboard power supply if you choose. Base price is $18,500 US. I got to hear this one in a system that had Wilson Alex 5 speakers, Shinoda cabling, and Nagra electronics for the rest of the system, and it was an oasis of non-audiophile aesthetic. You know, it was calming, it was musical, it was engaging.
I couldn't agree more about the Nagra. That really sounded great. The LPs too sounded great in that room, but the DAC that you're mentioning, I heard that as well, and it really was something special with the Alex V loudspeaker from Wilson. I think there are 11 pairs of Wilsons here at the show, maybe 5 pair of Alex Vs. My next choice is the Audio Vector R8. That's their top model from the Danish company that was founded in 1979, and we've reviewed a number of Audio Vector speakers, but I'd never heard them before the Expona show last month. I heard the QR7, which I think is $5,800, and it was really a fabulous sounding speaker at $5,800. So at this show I got to hear the top R8, which is a 5.5-way system, beautifully made, fabulous cabinet work, all custom drivers, and all of the Audio Vector speakers use a custom AMT tweeter, air motion transformer. And the speakers sound really sweet. They don't have that brightness and brittle top end like a lot of dome tweeters do. So that was one of the highlights of the show for me. It's 67,000 euros, and it's their top model. But all their lower models apparently share that same type of sonic character.
Thank you, and we'll be back just after this. And we're back. Another choice that I heard today is the new Mozart Infinity from Vienna Acoustics, which it's a great speaker. It's more than just a speaker, really. It's a 3-way floor stander, but it's active. It's got controls for everything. It's got a USB input, it's got a HDMI input, it's got a Ethernet input, it's got a phono input, it's got active power amps in it. And they were playing it, it just sounded lovely. I mean, it really did. It was the kind of product that I think it's 12,000 euros. And I mean, we're hoping to get one very soon, a pair very soon. But I just thought of all the things, it was so musical. But what it could do, it wasn't the biggest of loudspeakers. I don't think it would fill a vast room. But in terms of that kind of new metropolitan system where you've got a good speaker in a good room, it was really one of those things that it's kind of all you need. And I think this goes back to what you were saying yesterday, Andrew, about there's some really good products at very affordable prices, and I think that's a great thing to see. Yes, of course, we see some wonders at some very high-end prices, but I think it's quite across the board now that there's some good products throughout, and this is one to watch.
Well, the last product that I'll mention is from British company music called Fidelity. They've had a line called New Vista now for more than 30 years, but they are upgrading the entire line and have decided to begin with the 800.2 integrated amplifier. It has a DAC, and they're going to be releasing a DAC, a phonostage, and a PSU as well, and those were actually present in prototype versions. But these speakers seem to add no electronic signature of any kind to all sorts of music that they played for me through cello loudspeakers, whether it was orchestral music or whether it was jazz or singers. It really was really quite enchanting. No price as yet, but they better come up with one because they're shipping soon.
My last choice is actually a twofer, both from Tidal, the German full-range manufacturer. It's the new Contriva G3, which it's the third generation of the Contriva series. It's been around for a very long time. It has a diamond tweeter and a beautiful cabinetry, 65 pounds of lacquer just on the cabinets. And it looks like it when you look at it. $79,000 for a pair, and driven by a Tidal Contras and their new Class D amplifier. And after listening to it for about 15 minutes, I thought, hey, isn't that a Class D amplifier? Which is a good sign. If it didn't have all the stereotypical Class D sound, very musical sounding, highly detailed, but not etched. And then in the same room next door, we got to hear the Tidal for Bugatti speaker that Tidal's been working on in conjunction with Bugatti. And you can tell from the shape of it and the paint job that it looks like Bugatti, but actually that form came before the association with Bugatti. It was a speaker that they had envisioned as what Jorn, the founder of the company, called a hyper speaker or hyper audio system, like a hyper car, as opposed to, say, a mere Ferrari. And they're sold through Bugatti dealers, and it really sounded fabulous. It was so transparent, resolving, and dynamic, and so you get the controller that has streaming and the preamplifier functions in, amplification built into the speaker, and the system was $420,000, and I thought it was one of the best sounds at the show.
And well, if you're ending with two, I'm ending with two, but they're not from the same company for once. The first is the new Diablo 333 from Griffon. This is the slightly bigger version. Well, this is a bigger version on the integrated amps that they do. They do the Diablo and the Diablo 300. This is a bigger model. It's based on the new their latest amplifier chassis, which they've used in their preamps and power amps recently. But it's a fully integrated design with built-in DAC, a lot of stuff. It just sounded really nice. It's a Class AB amp, which is rare for them. Usually it's a big Class A. The spec is just basically, it does everything. The spec sheet runs to, I think, about 5 pages. And I think it's going to be about 28,000 euros, and it's available pretty soon, by the end of the year. And finally, my last one is one to watch. We've both loved products from Ideon recently. Ideon Audio is a Greek company. They make some really, really nice equipment. And recently they've introduced the EOS system. Now this is a pared down one that's not. It offers most of the performance of the top line. It's called EOS after the Goddess of Dawn. I don't know too much about it. It's not quite on static display, but it's out in the open part, which is very loud. So you can't really hear what it's doing. But they suggest it's going to be 80-90% of what it does. That, as I said, is EOS is the Goddess of Dawn, and the Dawn price is about 25,000 all in for all 3 boxes. That's the DAC, the streamer, and the clock. And that's it. I'd like to thank AudioQuest and Golden Ear for loaning us the room. I'd like not to thank the guy who was loading the glasses at that point, but on that happy note, thanks for watching.